As you're getting ready to record with Screencastify, be sure you bring up onto your screen all of the websites or presentations that you'll be featuring during your recording. For example, I've opened the presentation that we're using right now. If I were going to use other websites, like here's the Google Arts and Culture site, if I were going to feature both of those during my recording, I'd want to make sure I had them both available. When I'm ready to start recording, I can simply go to the Screencastify icon, and then the recording control panel will pop up. I have three main options here on this control panel. So let's talk about each of those briefly before we start recording. If I wanted to just record my browser tab, and what that means is that only this tab that's open, the one with the presentation, would be recorded. If I switch to other tabs during my recording, my audience will not be able to see those. You might be wondering, why would you use this feature? Well, sometimes if you're not going to switch tabs during your recording, it's easier because your screen is less cluttered and it's just a good choice. So based on which of these options you choose, you have certain options down here, and it's important to look at these. So obviously you've already enabled your mic and webcam, but you want to make sure that it detects them before you start recording. You want to make sure you have a countdown, and showing the drawing tools is a great idea. We're going to talk about those more in just a moment. Tab audio would mean if I'm recording in tab view and I want to play something like a video, then I would want to make sure I tick on tab audio. Otherwise, I don't really want to tick that on, because if I accidentally click on something, that might be distracting if the sound comes through to my audience. If I click on desktop, that means I would record everything that's on my desktop. So they'll be able to see my entire screen here, all my tabs. And if I switch from tab to tab as I'm recording, that the audience will also see that. This is the feature that I use the most often. Here again, you want to make sure you embed your webcam, you want to make sure you have a countdown, your drawing tools, and if you need the system audio, just like with tab audio, make sure you tick it on. The webcam only option, notice some of your options go away. That means it's going to record whatever your webcam is turned toward. So you might just be recording yourself talking, you might be recording something outside, you might be doing an interview. You could even record yourself, like I have a friend who records herself doing chemistry labs for her students. But let's go back to desktop mode, since that has the most features, and we'll use that one as an example. So when you're ready to start recording, then you just click this blue record button, and if you've chosen to have a webcam, it's going to pop up. There it is. I can also move this around. Be aware of that. One more step. When you're sharing your entire screen, you simply have to choose your screen or a window and then click share. It's going to give you a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and now I'm actually recording. How do I know that? Because I have a red dot now on my Screencastify icon. So I'm recording. Yay, my first video. Down here are my recording tools. So if I click on this pen, I can choose a color. I can bring attention to something by drawing around it. I can actually make this line fatter by using the up arrow on my keyboard. If I want to erase what I've put on the screen, I can use this eraser. I can simply click in this box, which will wipe the screen clear. Then if I want to go back to a regular mouse, I just click here, and this gives me some options for pointers. Here's where I can make the webcam go away and come back. And one of my favorite features is this pause recording button. So let's say I'm doing something and I need to set it up. Like let's say I'm using a whiteboard and I'm doing a math problem for my students, and I don't want them to see everything that I'm doing while I'm setting it up. I can pause my video, or if I make a mistake. If I make a mistake, I can pause it, and then I can come back and start recording again later, and then I can take that part out in editing, right? So notice now I have a little pause button on my recording. In order to start recording again, I can simply click here on the toolbar, or I could go up here and click, and it will give me the option also to continue. So that's a neat option. So if I switch tabs, this will also be recorded because I'm in desktop view, right? And when I'm ready to stop recording, I could use the keyboard feature, Alt-Shift-R. Remember we talked about that. Or I can simply go here, click my icon again, and then click this button to stop. As soon as you stop your video, the video page will automatically load. And there's lots of things happening on this page. For one thing, it'll automatically start playing back your video. So it might be muted. There might be a little place here that says click to unmute, but you'll want to watch yourself, of course, and to determine if you need to remake your video, or do you need to edit your video, or is it perfect? Which I hope it will be. You can also, if you hate it, you can just delete it right here by clicking on this trash can. This I button shows you the details of your video, like how long it is and the size of it and things like that. And again, you can open it in the editor. We'll hopefully have time to talk more about the editor, but if you don't need to edit it, then you can simply go to the other options. One thing you definitely want to do is to title your video. So because it comes in as untitled with the date, so if you don't title it, you'll have all these untitled videos in your drive, and you'll be like, what in the world is that? And you'll have to watch them all. So I'm going to call this Awesome Video 2. Because I think I've already made Awesome Video 1, and it might take it a few minutes to load to Google Drive. If so, there will be a little, it'll show you the loading process here. So once it loads to Google Drive, then you get lots more options for sharing that video. For example, the easiest thing you can do is click on this big blue button to get a shareable link that you can then paste anywhere, like Google Classroom, the stream. Your students could paste that directly in the stream. We're going to ask you to copy a shareable link and paste it into the chat in our Google Meet. That's also an option. So that's a really easy thing to do. So you want to make sure you look at all these other places for more options. If you prefer to have your video unlisted and things like that, you can also look at it on Google Drive, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. And check out these sharing options. If you click more options, you can see that you can share this video directly to Google Classroom. So if I clicked here, it would take me to Classroom. I'd choose the class where I want the video to go. I could set it up as an assignment. I could also send it directly to my YouTube channel, which is something I would encourage you to do, is to activate your YouTube channel. In fact, if we have time today, we can go there and look at that. You can get an embed code if you work with HTML code. You want to put this video on a website. You can send it an email. I can even generate a QR code. And recently, Screencastify has added something they call an App Smash library. And mine's not coming up quickly, I think, because my internet is really slow. But what you'll see here is an option to go to Edpuzzle or Wakelet or Remind. And you can add these to your list so that those become an option every time then that the editor opens for you. So that's an awesome option there. So I'm going to stop this because it automatically starts playing again. I can also download this in several ways. I can download this to my computer. I can export it as an MP4 file, which makes it more versatile. I can export just the audio, and there are times when that might be a good option. It's also great for making animated GIFs. So you can see that there's so many things that you can easily do with Screencastify. That makes it so much more versatile than just using your webcam, for example, to record. So before we go, let's just look in Google Drive. So what you'll notice in Google Drive is that once you make a Screencastify video, you'll find a folder in your drive called Screencastify. You don't have to do anything to make that happen. You automatically get that folder. And if you go there, you'll find every Screencastify video you've made. Here's Awesome Video 2, which automatically uploaded, and there it is. You can share this folder if you, that will make things easier so that you automatically know anything you put in that folder would then be shareable and you wouldn't have to worry about the sharing rights. So I know that was a lot we just covered, but that's how you make your first video and the ways that you can share it and where it lives in Google Drive. Now let's go and make some videos. Yay!